Welcome to this video on MADM Academy, where we're going to be looking at using social media for your own online personal brand. So in the previous video we looked at creating and completing your online personal brand starter file. So you've got a document there that you can use as a guide so that when it comes time to using social media to really start networking and promoting yourself online, you've already got a really good understanding of your own personal brand and how you can start communicating that clearly online. So let's start by just having a quick look at why we'd use social media really for online networking and branding. It might sound quite obvious now because it's such a big part of our everyday lives, but social media platforms, social media networks are probably the most effective tool that's ever been created for networking in a professional capacity. So social media sites such as LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, even the likes of Reddit and YouTube, etc., can be phenomenal for developing our own online personal brand. So let's start by writing down a few of these sites. We've got LinkedIn, haven't we, that we've already said, say Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok is obviously a huge one at the minute. I'm going to write TikTok down. I'm also going to write Reddit down as well, just to remind us that, social media sites do exist outside of just, the main Twitters and Instagrams and LinkedIn. So we'll write TikTok and we'll also write Reddit. There's other social media sites that are more niche and specific, so there's plenty of them that exist. There's like communities, forums, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to write forums and put them over here. So these are some of the sites that we can use. A common question is, which social media platform should be using as an individual, and really we want to be using, I would say, 2, maybe 3 consistently. Anything more than that, you're going to run into a bit of trouble unless you've got plenty of spare time, or you're just really, really well organised. For the majority of us, it's as well to take 2 or 3 of these and do them consistently. We're going to get much better results than spreading ourselves really thin, trying to use every single social platform that's out there and using them really inconsistently. So for an individual, and this is generalizing, but for the majority of us, and when we've spoken to students and clients and other MADM Academy members in the past, really LinkedIn is as good a starting point as any for work. Instagram's great. It's really a tool where you can still grow quite quickly organically without having to pay for like paid ads or anything like that, which can sometimes block you on sites like Facebook. Twitter is fantastic for personal promotion and personal branding. It really is. And actually, we've written, say, 2 or 3 of these. Let's go with LinkedIn and Instagram to begin with. We've got LinkedIn and Instagram, and actually, we're going to do like an extra one as well here, which can be maybe a forum. So really, let's pick out 3 which we've done now. So LinkedIn, a forum, so this could be anything related to your local area or a particular area of interest, such as graphic design. That could be one on Reddit. Reddit is a huge website that's got literally like, I don't know how many individual forums, but if it's not in the tens of thousands, it's certainly in the hundreds of thousands, or perhaps even more now. There's literally a forum for everything now on Reddit. So we've got LinkedIn, Instagram, and forums. So they're the kind of platforms, or they are the platforms that we're going to be using to really start networking and promoting ourselves effectively online. Now, social media is no different from, the in-person world in terms of, how we should interact with others. You wouldn't walk into a restaurant, for instance, and start pitching to everybody. If you're just going to talk about yourself and looking for work and that you want clients and that you want sales on LinkedIn, people are going to switch off in no time. We need to be creating and sharing, engaging, valuable, consistent content, so people will begin to see that we're specialists, knowledgeable, or at least interested in valuable and consistent content. So valuable and consistent content Really doesn't have to be anything extraordinary. You don't have to be creating videos that are made in recording studios and creating the best videos. You can literally pick up your mobile phone and open the notes section and just spend 20 minutes or so writing a really nice post, finding a nice image to go with that, and having some consistency in terms of how often you are posting on there. So when it comes time to decide what content that you want to share, you want to be able to spend some time doing that. If you've used the previous online personal brand starter file, then you've already had a chance to start thinking about that, and also how often you're going to post as well. So how often are you going to share content on social media? Social media is also, let's not forget, it's not a place to go spamming. It is not a place just to broadcast to people aimlessly. If you get into the habit of writing as though you're speaking to an audience, you're going to get lost. Your content's just going to end up in a bin almost. Just see it. It's not physically going to end up in a bin, but it may as well do. If you're just wanting to talk about what you do and you do this or your company does this, people are going to switch off so quickly you wouldn't believe. What you need to be doing is giving people a reason to go out of the way to look at your content, engage with it, communicate with you, see that you're knowledgeable about a particular area, that you're interested in certain things, that you can actually provide them some use. That is what this is all about. This is just social skills 101. Being social is all about things going both ways. You need to be able to provide for somebody else a way that they can provide areas and opportunities for growth and development, certainly in a professional capacity. As people are developing their networks, whether subconsciously or consciously, what we're wanting to do is attract a similar type of person around us as well. So you want to be able to position yourself as being a particular person that does particular things. I'm going back again to our previous personal brand starter file. Why does it matter? Why does what you're doing matter? And why does it matter that you're doing it? Once we've addressed that and decided, then we can start tapping into the power of social media. One little tangent point here that is really worth mentioning as well is you should not be going onto social media thinking, how do I go viral? That is absolutely fine for personal reasons, but if you're going to go onto social media and just trying to start going viral to begin with, you're just going to create messy content. It's going to be so off-brand. It's going to be nothing to do with what you want to be doing, and you might get a lot of views, a lot of engagement, but realistically, you're not really developing a powerful network. It's far better to have a smaller network that is more valuable than a huge following where people are not really that engaged with the true work and the meaning behind what you're wanting to do for your career. So going back to using social media for online personal branding, let's say we've decided exactly what we want to be doing, how we're going to position ourselves as a brand, how and why, more importantly, it matters. We've decided now that we're going to use LinkedIn, Instagram, and forums. That's what we're going to use all the time, or the majority of our time, to really try and develop our online personal brand. We've decided that we need to start creating some valuable and consistent content. That might be 3 times a week, it might be once a week. Maybe you create one piece of almost pillar content, so like a decent piece of content once a week, and then you could post a couple of smaller tidbit pieces of content as well through the week. So it's entirely up to you how you do it. If you're really lost and you don't know what to do, I really would recommend starting out by posting one piece of valuable content a week. Just spend 20 minutes or so on that piece of content. It could be an image, it could be a short little video. If you think you're terrible at recording videos, then honestly, it's always at everyone when we get started. The amount of times, even now, and I've been doing this for so long, I still retake and delete and go back or pick up a video that I'd made previously, and I think that's terrible. But the thing is, you just get into that consistency of doing it. Before you know it, you've got that pattern, that habit formed. You're creating content, and it becomes like many other things, just second nature. You're doing it without giving it too much thought. So from this, now we've decided what content we're going to post. Let's jump ahead a little bit. Let's say we're posting some really good content. We're 90 days into the future. People are seeing what we're doing. They really like it. They're sharing it. Other people are then seeing your content. People are finding you through hashtags and other searches, recommendations on Instagram. You're interacting on forums and sharing really helpful and useful information on there. Now it's time to really start interacting with our audience. This is all about interaction with our network. You know what we're going to do. We've got like a network building now. We've got 100 or so followers on Instagram, maybe similar on LinkedIn. We want to start interacting with our network, you know, and this can be done brilliantly personally. So rather than trying to see yourself as some big business where you're just speaking to an audience, you know, you really want to take advantage of the fact that this is personal, this is one-to-one, and really, you know, businesses, you know, companies spend an obscene amount of money trying to offer services as personable as possible, and yet none of them can do it as effectively or as authentically as an individual can. You know, only an individual can interact personally with somebody, you know, on that one-to-one level. So what's really cool about this, actually, I didn't even think about this just before I started recording this video. I actually got somebody message me on LinkedIn that I'd not heard back from in about a week. All I'd done is I'm trying to get into the habit of whenever I network with connect with somebody on LinkedIn now, I follow my friend's advice, which is to always just spend them a couple of minutes introducing yourself. You know, you don't know where these interactions will lead to. My friend does that. He runs a really successful business, but it's not a huge one by any means. But you know, he brings in a lot of revenue every year just by going to the effort of messaging the people that he connects with for the first time on LinkedIn. And just before I pressed record for this video, I've not read the message yet, but somebody that had messaged following this same idea last week had actually just replied. So you know, I thought it was a bit of a wasted message, and actually they've replied. So I'm looking forward to reading that, and who knows where these sort of interactions and conversations can lead to. And this is all about, you know, developing your own online personal brand. You do this because, you know, so what do you do and why does it matter? You are a graphic designer because, you know, why does it really matter? You know, and once you've decided that, and again, if you're at the point where you're not really sure about that, you know, go back to the previous video, look at your online personal brand start file, start having to think about why it matters. A book that I recommend reading is called Start With Why. So Start With Why, and that's by Simon Sinek. Hugely successful author, and you know, just a classic book for understanding, you know, like the importance of why. So to finish this video off, think about the interactions with other people on social media. This is not just about broadcasting and, you know, using social media as a place to spam your business or your you know, your sales pitch. This is about genuine, you know, two-way interactions and conversations. You know, this is not a sales pitch. This is about developing a network that, you know, leads to referrals from both sides. You know, you're developing a network where you can help other people the same as they can help you, so that when it comes time to looking for a new job, for instance, people are already familiar about what it is that you're doing. There's that consistency there, and with that comes a hugely increased level of trust as well, which, you know, you just cannot put a price on.